We saw it. That's where the EMP zone was, so everybody tried to avoid it. But for DRS, I think they're just taking their own time to loot. I mean, it's a big map, right? It's super massive map.
It definitely is, and not only do we have some stores available, this is going to be a pyramid store where you can open blind boxes, discounted item, and I heard that certain stores you can even make purchases of the emergency pickup for you to rotate around the map much easily. So definitely it's going to be a high value location. You can just spot some of these stores to just equip yourself maybe with even level 3 gear. So I really want to see all these players utilize all these new features in the map. Starting off with BTR, I think that they're just going to have a decent rotation, starting things a little bit more smoothly. I think the only altercation that we just saw early on, unfortunate for Horror Esports, right? If they did have at least Sky to survive, maybe they could just go in for the recall. But since the whole team is out, no chance to even get the recall done.
I think that was the plan for Sky at first, but I still found it out by the players of YG just now early on. Now, speaking back about the premium stores, by the way, I love the fact that you touch about you can actually get some even airdrop weapons if you buy at the premium market or stores or supply. There's only 2 places that actually do have those premium market, by the way. That's going to be in Rinjiang and also in Luohuaxing. And it's not going to be easy. I mean, like, you have to fight so many guards. Last time I saw some people actually fought against 15 guards and 2 commanders.
50?
Yeah,
Wow.
just to get to be at the area where you can actually buy those supplies. But it's going to be worth it. But at the same time, the damage is super high coming up from those bandits, also the commanders that's guarding over that side. So it's not going to be easy. And I would suggest, and you're probably going to be advising, if you want to drop that straight away as your first drop, that's not going to be the best place ever, because you probably don't have enough supply just to fight against those guards.
Yeah, unless if your squad is confident enough that you can secure like all the M4s, all the AKM to really fend everybody else and have just about enough utilities, then by all means do so, or else it's better as a checkpoint for them to just keep themselves pretty much healthy throughout the course of the run. Now, another EMP zone did hit over onto the members of the Savior, and interesting enough, there's also destructible bamboos. Now, this is definitely so tricky where there's barely enough cover coming into bamboo already, and you can just destroy these bamboos. Definitely not an easy task, but speaking of a task, Noble already on the hunt, getting the first pin down onto one of the members on the outskirts, and it's going to be a big trade that we're looking at as they take on the rest of RNG.
Probably gonna have a circle around where it just shrinks down, probably on top of Lost Track. But these the champions that we're talking about, they're fighting just on the outskirts of Bamboo Forest, around the structures there, and also a couple of buildings. But for D plus, yeah, now it's a bit aggressive approach going straight into it, but this is gonna be the hot spot where everybody will cross their path on top. And we talked about this. Lost Track, Neox Factory is gonna be one of the most battle crossfire that we're gonna have throughout the entirety of Rondo, probably the entire day.
Absolutely, and we're already looking at EMP zones around the vicinity. There's D plus Kia still on the hunt, trying to push towards the hillside to cut across Bamboo, and it is definitely a daunting task when we're looking at D plus Kia with such a big range of coverage. Sure, they might actually see some movement, but it doesn't seem like they could actually get some firm pickoffs. So R3G, they cut their losses, but of course, if they do find themselves a recall spot, then they should be able to bring their teammates back. But right now, teams are keeping themselves busy. Void Donkey has now emerged to also appear right across the Savior. So Nate's got to be absolutely careful in this scenario.
They're just nearby the rim of the circle. Last time we saw it was around just on the northern side of the Task Track. Now about Task Track and Neox Factory, I love to play around Neox Factory a lot. There's so many big factories and warehouses around there, but you have to check every corners because there's so many factories in there. The moment you step out from that factory, it's going to be somebody shooting around the corner as well. But I know what Levi's doing. Now, in case you guys don't know, we do have pickaxe in there that can actually alter the terrain, only the ground, not the water or nothing about the concrete, or I don't think a rock can actually works as well, but the ground can actually dig by the pickaxe, and also you mentioned before with the hand grenades that will create a crate for the player if they need to barricade themselves in case of emergency.
Yeah, Levi's is just trying his luck. It's like, oh, I'm trying to mine for gold or something by the rocks, and seems like he's not really getting too much out of it for now. But just take a look at RNG. They were looking for this recall spot, but it's gonna be Ejipna having his vehicle already on the verge of destruction. D plus Kia really not letting them off the hook at all.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, we know how aggressive they can get. That's why they're number 1 in the last year PMGC, by the way. But for Jipna, I think he's waiting for the help to just arrive. But he got himself caught in a trap 2 ways, being hammed down on the side of D plus Kia players. I don't know how he can get out of this. He does have only 1 smoke though, but how to get out without vehicle? Well, you can wish for one more thing. The thing I like about horses is that they don't stay in one place too long sometimes. They do walk. So hopefully there's a horse coming over to Jimno's side. Well, we're looking at Mormon. He's climbing up the highest ground. So Mormon, he's treating this map like a Miramar map.
Wow. That's the thing about pro players. Like, they want to test everything out. Where you want to see if this buggy can actually take you to the top. It seems like Mormon is stuck halfway across. DRS doing exactly the same thing. And this is just an awkward situation, especially more towards the side of DRS because they're on the blue zone. Meanwhile, Mormon's like, okay, try me, bro. You can try climb up here, and I'm just going to be absolutely fine waiting for you to move up, and I'm just going to take you down.
I don't know if anyone want to actually drop by Lo Hua Sing for the premium market, but I don't think they will actually invest too much of their resources to fight against those guards because they're just going straight towards the bridge on the northern side of Lo Hua Sing, where we actually see there's a patch of land in between and there's a bridge in between. So they might be, and they're still, despite